Good morning. Michelle Lee here with Athena Rising Now, and I help women bust through their financial glass ceiling and skyrocket their confidence. And today I'm talking about another superpower that you have that you may have been taught or you have come to believe that is one of your greatest weaknesses. So I'm super excited to be here to help you lead your life to financial freedom and total freedom around how you make money. So in talking about how women have been taught to believe that their greatest powers are their greatest weaknesses, I know that as growing up, I was labeled and made fun of for being blunt, right? Like just whatever came to my mind came out of my mouth. And I have come to realize that's one of my greatest superpowers, right? I see the truth. And as a kid, I thought it was obvious to everyone. And I would just express what I was seeing. And I would get in trouble because I said things that people didn't want to hear. So that I have learned that being blunt and being able to see what most people don't see is one of my greatest superpowers, and it's how I support my clients in so many ways. So today I want to talk about your intuition and how you can trust your intuition. You know, there's a common misconception that it's just a woman's intuition, or it's illogical, it doesn't make sense. We have to know why we know what we know. And over the years, in really learning to trust my intuition and understanding that sometimes I just know, my intuition comes in as claircognizance. I know answers to things. I remember the first time really realizing that in the 4th grade when I wondered something. I sort of asked myself a question and the answer came in. And within a week, I had the confirmation that information was correct. And so I've come to learn to understand that when I ask a question, even as simply a question that I most commonly say is like, what the hell was that? Like, what just happened in my mind? What just occurred in this reality? And I will get the answers just as thoughts. It's not like an outer voice talking to me. It's not a different voice. It's just like a knowing that comes in. And so we have been taught that if we don't know why we know, and if we can't prove what we know logically, then it's not true. It's not worthy, right? That our information that we're getting is not worthy. So I really want you to turn that around, because you are being divinely guided. We are all divinely guided to create our dream life, our dream business, our ideal expression. We are being led to that. The laws of the universe are about expansion and surplus. I got the hit yesterday, a wisdom. I bring the Sophia codes to women. I awaken within them the divine sacred feminine. And yesterday I got really clear that I bring in the luxury Sophia, the luxury. And I got that knowing as I was thinking back as a child. I loved watching, maybe some of you remember the show, the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous with Robin Leach. I used to love that show. I mean, if they still had it, I would still watch it. I love seeing big, extravagant homes, fancy yachts and jets, because if that's possible for one person, it's possible for everyone. And within my heart, even as a child, there was this knowing that that's for me, that's for everyone, that if one person was living like that, that was available to everyone. And so yesterday I had the intuitive hit. That's what I'm bringing in, the luxury Sophia codes. And a couple years ago, I bought my Mercedes, right? And it was in that moment, when I'm choosing this luxury car, that I felt at home. It was like I settled into it. It's like, yes, this kind of luxury is for me. and I'm still growing into that. But what I'm saying is, it's your intuition is leading you. It's not going to seem rational or logical. And what trips us up sometimes too is we have expectations from following our intuition. Like, so imagine that you make a decision and it's an intuitive decision, but you don't get the results that you had hoped for. What happens then, so many people, and maybe you've done this and I've done this in the past too, is I think, well, my intuition was wrong because I didn't get the results that I hoped for or expected, right? So what I want to challenge you to do is to understand that whatever results you get are the results you need to take you to the next level of self-trust. That you don't understand. As human beings, we may not be aware of what's going on under the surface, right? I was thinking about this as the butterfly effect, right? When you follow your intuition and you're led to speak on a particular stage and you're expecting hundreds or thousands of people to be there, and there ends up only being a few people there. Right? I mean, that personally happened to me a couple of years ago. I did this big stretch. I was so scared. I was going to be at this women's conference, speaking in front of hundreds of women, my ideal clients. I spent thousands of dollars to do this. I wrote my signature talk, created a workshop for it. I spent weeks in anxiety for being on the stage that was bigger than I'd ever been on, and sharing a part of me, my light worker, my light worker self, right? And calling light workers forward and awakening as women, as the Sophia, and really stepping into that. And I went through weeks and weeks of anxiety. I lost sleep. I was tapping all the time, and I was so scared. And then I got there and there were 30 participants. It was so poorly promoted that there were 30 participants. Now, I could go that, oh, that was a huge mistake. My intuition led me the wrong way. But my intuition didn't. There was so many other things that transpired during that weekend at that women's conference that was for a deeper reason. It was for my spiritual awakening, my spiritual activation. Those people who heard me speak, they were moved. I got amazing feedback on it, right? They were moved. I was speaking to my people. I did make some money, right? I did receive some new clients out of that. It just wasn't what I expected. And so I invite you to begin to move through trusting your intuition, knowing that that higher wisdom has a bird's eye view on everything. It has a bird's eye view on everything that you cannot see. So down here in the trenches on planet Earth, you may not see the results that you think you should see, but up on a higher level, everything is moving you forward. Everything is moving you forward. So I truly invite you to become your own authority. Is this making sense to you? Is this helpful to you? Give me a thumbs up. I can see there's people watching, but I can't see who's watching. So give a thumbs up. Give me some hearts if this is making sense and helpful to you. I don't want to waste your time by not supporting you in ways that you need and want to be supported. So your greatest power is your intuition. Your greatest weakness is not listening to it or allowing people outside of you who don't understand your vision, who don't follow their intuition themselves, talk you out of it. Talk you out of it. What happens is that they talk to you, they speak to you around fear, right? They want to keep you who they're used to you being. So really following your intuition takes incredible courage. It truly takes incredible courage. And for a long time, I would follow my intuition and not tell anybody, right? I would do the things I knew I had to do, that I knew that in my circle wouldn't be accepted or wouldn't be understood. So I just didn't tell people, right? So sometimes you have to do that. You have to discern who you share with what you're doing so that you can move forward with greater courage and trusting your intuition and allowing that faith to lead you. I remember I do Akashic record readings. And I remember years ago, I was doing a reading for a woman, and intuitively, I was led to check her body for any injuries. Now, normally, I don't do this. This isn't a part of the Akashic record reading I do. But this time, I just had the intuitive hit, the knowing, claircognizance, that said, hey, check her body for any injuries and anything that may be bothering her physically. And so I did that. I got the information on it, and I shared it with her. And I'll tell you, I was nervous about sharing it with her because it's not normally work that I do, not normally something that I share. And I shared it with her, and you know what she said? She goes, wow, thank you so much. I asked my guides to have you get that information to prove to me that you were communicating with my guides. So she had put it in there to double check and put her fears at ease, to make sure that I was connected with her guides in the work I was doing for her. And I got that hit, and she got her validation. Had I been too afraid that I might be wrong to share that, then she would have discounted everything she had learned from me, and she would not have gotten her validation. So I invite you to begin to really follow your intuition. It's probably not going to seem logical or rational. Intuition isn't logical or rational, because logic and rationality follow a linear timeline, right? We go from A, B, C, D, E. That's logical. Intuition runs along the spiral of the Sophia creation, right? All of creation is a spiral. So around the spiral, you go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. So if you're down here on A, following your intuition can have you leap up into G. And it will seem illogical. It would be like, wait, I didn't do all the letters in between. I didn't do all of the steps in between. But you don't have to. When you work at an intuitive level, then you get to take these great leaps forward. Okay? So beginning to trust your intuition may seem scary at first, but then you actually start leaping through your timeline and getting to where you want to go much more rapidly. Okay, so I will leave you with that. If you have any questions, please hit the share button if this was meaningful to you. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. I'll come check it out and answer any questions you have. And tune in to your intuition. It is one of your greatest superpowers. Bye for now. Thanks for stopping in.